everyone, welcome to FQ-wentuhan. This is Rose Fausto, your FQ mom. Today I'm very excited with this session because I am with a very good-looking couple. I say it's okay for you guys to really procreate because they're increasing the beauty index of Filipinos. Ladies and gentlemen, Edric and Joy Mendoza.
So funny how even in the term beauty may index everyone's talaga kailangan may financial slant for natin. It's
BSEI.
And it's nice to be on the other side of the table. I mean, literally.
That's
you're asking
right.
us questions.
Yes.
I know. So this is cool change.
Yeah. Okay, so say hi, Joy.
Yes, hi everyone. We're excited to be here. Rose is our friend.
Yeah.
So we said yes.
And when she says very beautiful, I think it's just this is very beautiful. Me, I'm just funny.
So
I'm just
humble.
funny, you know. I
The
got
humble index.
Mr. Personality.
Yeah, he just tries to look humble. Weren't you the cutest anchors a few years back?
Blocked on my memory. I don't remember.
Okay, let's take it at that. Anyway, they are not just good looking, but these guys, they are God-centered and very devoted parents. And this afternoon, I'd
To
like...
5.
Yes, the 5.
Have to call that.
The reason why the beauty index of the Philippines has gone up a little bit. Okay, so Joy and Edric, would you like to tell us about your homeschooling, your experiences, your challenges?
You know first?
Yeah. So we love homeschooling. Yay! We have 5 kids, 14 down through 3, and I think the short version of why we're in this is my wife was homeschooled in her elementary years, and then she went to an international school, and we met at the Blue School for college, and we wanted to do something different in learning, so we tried it out, and it seemed to have worked for our experimental firstborn son. And as a corporate guy working for a company where her son also worked, a very good company by the way, I got my training and I left, and I have been helping champion the mindset of homeschooling wherever we can. And in a nutshell, homeschooling is not the words that you hear. It's not bringing school into the home, which many people will think. It's creating a learning experience that allows you to make the world your classroom. So the home just becomes a base. It's not confined, and you don't have to follow the same rhythms of school, etc., that people would think of when they think of school into the home. So that's my view, and I'm just a talker. My wife is the one that actually homeschools and homeschooled our kids.
Teach
So
with
maybe
joy.
you give,
Teach with
yes,
joy.
Miss Teach with Joy.
Teach with joy is her blood.
Yes, that's right. Teach with Joy.
So I think I do, he's the overall big picture kind of guy, but I do more of the day-to-day with the kids and
The actual homeschooling.
The actual homeschooling.
I just talk.
No, he's a big help. But I think for both of us, the reason why we really got into it is because we wanted to raise our children a certain way, not just how children are raised today, but really pass on to them the values that we have as a family, and we wanted to raise them with certain parenting goals in mind, which is that they would really grow up to love God, to know God, to make a positive difference in society, and we're convicted that it'd be hard to do that with the competing influences of peers or maybe different philosophies in the different educational institutions. So for us, we really wanted to customize the education of our kids, primarily for their character, but also because we believe that when you customize someone's education, then you can maximize their learning experience.
Yeah, and in the world today, actually, the best way to learn is really tailor-fitting the learning because each learner is unique.
That's right.
So part of what excited me, right, as an outsider into homeschooling is seeing that if you look at the way that learning is evolving today, I mean, we have technology at your fingertips. My daughter, when she sees a screen, she will automatically tap it.
The younger?
The youngest one, my youngest daughter.
Your youngest is
3 years old.
Yes, 3
And
years
it just
old.
shows you what kind of age we are at, right? So, and I
so
say
did you
that.
have to withhold digital devices?
And I think we believe in
No, we didn't have to withhold them.
I think
We worked
it's not
with
about
it.
right.
We are not anti-gadgets because our kids are growing up in a day and age where they need to be using gadgets. It's empowering, it's enabling, but we taught them the values behind using gadgets and time management.
That's right.
And then
Time management.
we try not to introduce it too young.
Yeah.
Like when kids are 0 to 2.
Yeah, so when did you start?
I think maybe about 2.
Yes.
But not.
For them,
But
yeah.
even then, monitored. So it's not that we're against gadgets.
Yeah.
But we have a philosophy where we help our children to discern what kinds of apps or games
Or sites they will
or
download,
sites, yes.
yeah.
So we told them, there's a verse in the Bible, Luke 2:52, which says Jesus grew in wisdom, stature, favor with God, and favor with men. So we said, kids, this is your criteria. You want to get an app,
or a game, or
is
download a site, or check out something on YouTube that will allow you to grow in
wisdom, or stature,
favor with God, or favor with men. If it doesn't, then you want to ask yourself, do you really want to spend time doing it? I mean, that's kind of what we're helping.
So do you have to approve?
Well, for the younger ones, yes, it's stricter. For the older ones, we give them the opportunity to make the decision. But when in doubt, so Elijah, 14, and Eden, somewhat, he's kind of on the fence right now and asking and doing that. 11 years old, right?
Yeah. So what we do, since they're a little older, we'll tell them, we trust you. Because we've trained them already.
Yeah.
That's right.
But because we cannot, we cannot micromanage them forever.
There are 5 of them.
Yeah, and there's 5. I really can't do that.
And part of the beauty of this is, so this is not like a hard and fast rule, right? We have a term called game eyes.
Which means?
When you see a child's eyes,
and
so after, for example, even if it's for homeschooling, our kids will, like Elijah, pre-calculus math, Joy can't teach that, and I'm not there to do that every day.
No, he's not doing it. He's not doing it.
I can.
He's not doing
Emmy did for a while. Emmy also did it.
Just for the record, he's not doing pre-calculus.
Almost, what is
no,
it?
he goes into Khan Academy.
Yes.
Right, which is a free site, and you can learn everything from basic arithmetic all the way up to calculus. So it's up to him.
So let me go into the point. So, even if they're doing their homeschooling, and at a certain point when you call them, hey Elijah, and then they look at you with this glazed overlook,
they're far away.
Say enough gadgets, enough tech, because they're getting game eyes. I call that game eyes. So they will go outdoors or they will do some other creative play. So that's how we read it.
I've heard about that. Yeah. So can you tell us, like, what's a typical day? So they also go to school Monday to Friday? Is that how it
Yes. So our typical day would be,
Ignore me, she's talking to you.
So typical day we would probably wake up as a family around 6:30 and then exercise and then well, this is something Edric's trying to instill now because for a while maybe they exercise in the afternoon, but we're trying to get the exercise done in the morning.
Alright.
Since they have time, they don't have to wake up super
The boys do their push-ups.
Yes, no need to go through traffic.
And because the air is cleaner. Air is cleaner also in the morning.
No, I'm saying it's a big
the traffic. The traffic for them is getting from the bedroom down to
the breakfast table.
So then we have breakfast together, ideally, and then the kids will read their Bibles. That's part of their homeschooling, and then they will start about 8:30 or 9. We go till about 12 for the younger ones, and then the older ones they can go until maybe about 1 or 1:30, and then that's it. Like I don't want to do more schooling than that.
And you're there the whole time from 8 to 3.
That's my day job. I have to be there. It's a commitment.
So how does it work that they are of different grade levels? That's the challenge.
Well, the challenge is in the younger years to get them to be excellent readers and really good at comprehension and communication skills, as well as logical thinking ability. Then from there, they become independent learners. So my older ones, I don't have to micromanage them. Like I can be in the same room with them, they're doing their work.
Give them a checklist.
But they have their schedule, their list of responsibilities to get done on the wall, so they know they don't have to keep on asking me.
Cover this, Tuesday they go and they just do it.
Yeah.
So every week you have it prepared, or you also do it on a day-to-day?
No, because it's a typical schedule from Monday,
and you have a guide.
Yeah.
With, you have to say it, or?
With the curriculum under homeschool logo.
Oh, yeah.
But no, the curriculum, just to be very clear, what schooling publishers have done, right? Homeschooling publishers or materials providers in the US, what they've done is they've created material that you can use across level, as opposed to a traditional school. So the blue school I came from, grade 2,
1, grade 2, yes.
Same textbook for grade 2, right?
That's right.
Be proud. That's a
We'll keep it neutral, no branding here. We want only brand homeschool logo, right? So
we don't want to confuse the viewers.
So straight to your question, there would be a material, for example, and that material that is used, like a history material, Joy would read it to all the kids, regardless of their grade level.
Because world history
is multi-level.
Yeah.
So she can cover all of that for all the kids, and then they will apply it in different ways. Yeah. One might color, one might write an essay, one might write insights, depending on their level. So the application is specific to their level. Yeah. So that's how the homeschool movement has worked around multi-levels. Is materials like that. Same communication, but different application.
We just can't do that with math and language arts because these are really level specific. But the other subjects, even science, can be done.
If you start with a story, the
Yes.
stories can be told.
Exactly.
And we studied history like from the beginning all the way up to modern day. So it's not like let's take up World War II or let's take up
Ancient
Japan.
civilization.
It's not fragmented.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they see, you know,
A timeline.
and the mistakes that people made throughout history, the repetition.
Please tell them
and
the
what
mistakes.
and then what to avoid.
You seem to be forgetting all
I know.
this.
So it gives
History
them
does repeat itself,
so it
right?
gives them a bigger picture
Yeah.
of history and you know.
Can you tell us about the savings aspect of homeschooling your children?
Sure. So typical schools right now, let's classify them under international and then maybe grade A, B, C, right? So grade C would be your local neighborhood startup school, maybe 60,000.
Okay.
And then
Per
your
school
grade
year.
B, tuition fee would be about 80, right? Better school, maybe a better system. And then your grade A schools, these are the long established, many of the private schools that are well known have a tuition fee of about maybe 120 now, 150, depending on where you go and what specific level. And then there's international schools, which should be about 500 to a million, depending on which school, right?
Yes.
So for homeschooling, because
Da-da-da-da,
there is no,
drum roll, please.
you don't pay for the capex and all the overhead, right? The tuition can be anywhere if you enroll in a private homeschool provider, because that
Okay.
exists.
But should you?
Well, I'll answer that second.
alright,
Okay. So the cost would be about anywhere from 15 to about 35.
Oh my God!
So very big in terms of, and it's because, well, Rose, quite frankly, though, when you go to a school, you expect them to do everything. That's why you pay.
Yes,
But
yes.
when you now homeschool, you do it all
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
So what the private providers would do is they would give you the transcripts so that what you do can be passed on if you want to go back to a conventional school. They help also do some level of support to answer questions, to help you construct what materials will make sense for you, to do some semblance of assessment also. So depending on the breadth of services you need, that's what you pay for to a private provider. Now, as you were asking earlier, you can also homeschool and not enroll anywhere.
Yes.
Just do it
Really?
yourself. Yeah.
Really? And
Just
then just
report
go
to
to
the
DepEd.
You go to DepEd, you
Okay.
take a test, and then here's the big if you pass the levels that you claim your child has covered, then they will give you a record that shows that, and you bring it to the school where you now go. That's an if. Our experience is many people who try that don't get the level point.
Oh,
Because they've been doing it on their own. So that's a risk, right? So
it lacks guidance.
so that's my answer to your question.
Yeah.
Should you, right? You said, should you? My honest opinion is, I think people should get some semblance of service and some semblance of affinity to a private provider, because the debt end, in their minds, when they hear you going at it on your own, it raises all sorts of questions on the quality of learning that the child is going through.
And it's just right.
And as a homeschooler, of course, we will defend it and say, well, you know what, the parent knows best because they know the children. But the reality is, it's very hard for them to say, okay, you want to now go back to the school systems. I will test you, but I have no confidence in what you're doing because I don't know what you've done.
There's no standard.
So their view of people who go at it on their own, or what we loosely call independent homeschooling, the honest view that they have is these people are really either really desperate and marginalized, wala na silang mapuntahan, kahit yung 15 to 35, hindi nila ma-afford. Ganun yung mindset. Or, you are really radical, and so I need to figure out whether your child has really learned what they want you
And
to
that's
learn.
not to say that those are the families that are
Correct.
homeschooling independent.
But that's
the perception.
Yes, that becomes the stereotype.
Yeah.
And we're trying to break that stereotype, which is why we said, as much as possible, get into a private provider somehow. I mean, look for something that makes sense.
Yes. Would you like to give them the contact details of your
Sure. Well, I don't want this to sound like a plug, but it is a plug.
It is.
So
Go ahead.
homeschoolglobal.com. It's one word.
No, not anymore the TMA.
It used to be called TMA, Homeschool, or the Masters Academy, but because of its growth globally. We have families in 20 countries all over the world, and we're building hubs around the world now. We found it more appropriate to use the term homeschool global. It lends itself
global.
better to the global community.
Yeah.
So homeschool, HOMESCHOOL, global, GLOBAL, one word, .com. Or you can Google it, or even catch us on Facebook. It's the best way to engage us.
I think you just need to clarify. Like, for example, with homeschool, because it's 35,000 per family, right? So whether you have
Oh, I didn't even mention how much.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't mention
there's a
how much it
wholesale
costs.
price?
Yeah.
There's a wholesale
We don't like to talk about price.
the more kids you have, the more economical it becomes. But I think that the other thing you need to add is with the curriculum, with the materials, that is a separate cost
Yeah.
because you customize it. So you can spend
But like I
anywhere.
said, is when you go to school and you pay tuition, the books you buy it separately, right?
Yes.
So you'll pay, for example, for
Yeah.
the books. So it's the same with
But I'm just saying we need to just make them aware that there is
Yeah.
that other cost. That is a flexible cost.
Oh, yes.
as well.
There is that other cost.
The wife knows. Okay, our standard questions here.
Sure.
Can you share with us a short childhood money memory? Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
I think one of my fondest memories from my Ilocano influenced father, Ilocano si kami. When he would go to stores, he would teach me how to negotiate. Whenever he buys things.
Tumingtawad.
Para magtawad. Ilocano style. Sabi ni Edric, always go down to half first. That was his tip. Always. Even if there's a tag price. So, even in a department store, I would do that at the
What do you
start.
say?
Para,
I'm not with you.
pwede ba? Sir po, may presyo na yan dito. Hindi na pwede mag... And I
Let me
learned.
say, bakit hindi pwede?
So that's one of my fondest memories. When I
You
talk
still do
about,
that now?
I still do that now.
Yeah.
My kids are now copying me. My son is
I
better
get
than
really
me.
stressed.
He can smile through his negotiation and not blink an eye. So that's one fond memory I have of my father growing up, is how he taught me frugality. You know,
Yeah.
don't just take things as they are. Negotiate
Not
as best you can.
stinginess, but frugality.
Frugality.
Okay, that's stinginess, even if you're asking for half the price. Okay, Joy, what about you?
I think one of the memories for me was we went to this restaurant in the States and they'd given us the bill. So it was my parents and my 4 siblings and myself. And they had undercharged us.
Oh,
And
Short,
so
short.
we didn't realize it until we were driving away from the restaurant. We were a ways away. And then when my mom looked at the bill, she's like, you know what, they didn't charge us the right amount. They charged us too little. And so right away my parents said, we gotta go back and settle it and pay for the rent. Now my dad is Chinese and he's a businessman and he's also
kuripot.
but in a good way. And so as I watched them as a child, I remember we went back to the restaurant and when they went to the cashier, she said, nobody does that. Like nobody.
so what did they say?
And she said, well, we are Christians and we want to do the right thing. And I think that made an impression on me because I know that my dad was a businessman. I know that, making money was something he enjoyed doing.
Yes.
But then I also knew it wasn't like an idol in his life or something that he put above the greater character traits like integrity.
The honesty.
Yeah, being
Integrity.
honest. And so I saw that you could be successful as a businessman, but you still can maintain your
totally
integrity.
agree.
And I think that's something that they passed on to us through their modeling.
Are you
It
sure?
was important.
What about the other thing? I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you, man.
Okay, give us
When you said thank you, Lord, we say what?
give us your FQ-wentuhan tip.
So my tip is exactly what I learned. Don't take things as they are, face value. When you're given a price, try and negotiate as best you can. I mean, always ask.
Always.
You never lose.
Even if you're in
asking.
Rustan, said.
Even in Rustan, hey, when I do that, I'm like, wala bang sale dito? Wala bang sale price? Sir, pagka ibang binili mo yan in cash, some stores, even retailers that are established will say, pag cash pwede. So, diba? Yeah, so always, don't take things at face value. Wherever you can, ask for a better deal. Why? You want to get the best value for it.
Oh, Joy.
Yeah, I think for me, maybe it's not so much a kuripot tip, but I think we grew up with parents who didn't also spend money on brand name
Yeah.
things
Okay.
and on luxury things, and so I think that they invested in things like travel
Yes.
and property. but I think growing up that made an impact on me. That you don't have to get your sense of self-worth from branded or luxury things, and so also with us, I think we had the same
I
value.
didn't need any of that.
No, It's not
when
that,
she
but
goes shopping,
do not
it's real
think-
estate. So be careful.
Yeah, sorry. So I keep telling we should be
Ta-ting.
investing in real estate. But I think
Money a lot.
it's
Well, get a watch in the bag when you can get a property.
I'm not saying that it's wrong to buy those things, but I think it's just something that I grew up with, that I appreciated. Like, we would instead, my parents would focus on maybe investing in like property or something that in the long term would really.
I think the idea is you don't want to worry about image management. I mean, that's where a lot of people get stuck, right? That's what you're sharing, right?
Yeah, I'm not
Get
just saying
conscious
that
about-
we're not conscious people. I mean, I don't want to make it seem like
Yeah.
we're self-righteous. and-
She's trying. That's why it's a tip. It's a tip.
Yeah,
it's a
that's
tip. I don't always negotiate, just to be clear. Joy doesn't always.
So I think it's more of like when you're going to buy something, why are you buying it? Maybe the motivation
Yeah.
behind it. So do you really, really need
And
it?
we're not passing judgment.
No,
It's
not
different
passing
people
judgment at all.
value different things.
And I mean, some people have loads of money, and to buy an expensive bag is nothing for them.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, we have to really.
But I agree with Joy. I mean, you always want to go back to the motivation. I think a
Yes,
large
the
part of
motivation.
money,
Yes.
and we've talked
Why?
about this
Why?
many times, really,
Of
is the underlying why. If you're trying to
Just
do
impress.
something, and you buy it, and you're using your credit card, and you can't even pay it.
Wow.
Marami FQ tips dyan, diba? Si Rose marami na sulat yan. But you know, so I want to echo what my wife said.
Sige, let's end this with a fast talk.
Do it.
Okay, so this is what I'll say something, and then you answer, she answers.
Go.
Quick thing.
Okay.
Okay. Favorite body part of your spouse?
Eyes.
Smile.
That's not a body part.
Oh, not body part.
Lips. Teeth, lips and teeth, man.
Okay.
Oh,
so
I know.
the lips now?
Yeah, probably lips. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he has a nice smile.
So I think you can answer this more quickly. Most annoying thing about your spouse?
No, I can't even answer.
No, when she forgets things.
I thought he
He
just,
can answer.
he just annoyed you so you could come up with something already.
Come on, be honest. There's got to be. I know it.
Maybe some.
Sense of timing. Say it.
Oh, yes,
There you
yes,
go.
yes.
Okay, what is it?
Sometimes we do speaking engagements together, and he'll
Like-
say, "Don't worry, hon, I'm going to give you a lot of time."
Ah!
I'll be like there, and I'm like,
Martin is laughing. I think he just experienced it.
and I'll be like, I have no. And so we go through this all the time, and we discuss, and I'm like, you didn't give me any time. I get really stressed out about time.
Dapat may sign in kurot ganyan. Para, okay, get it.
How about you?
So mine would be that. I said what I get annoyed about would be forgetfulness.
Forgetfulness.
She look at me and be like, what? I'm like,
It's like the 5 children.
Anesthesia.
Wala nga po, anesthesia.
no, but you know, honestly, there's very few things to be annoyed about in my school. Really. So that's why the only top of mind would be that. It's just, when you forget, I get it.
So I think I'm going to forget what you said right now, so it's not even going to
It's a
bother me.
benefit.
So I think the next one is a
Yeah.
good thing for you to answer. Most endearing characteristic of your spouse?
Oh, that she loves God. I think, because she loves God, I think that covers everything. For me, honestly, that's the greatest security I have. And that's what endears me most to her.
Don't copy Joya.
That when we met in the Blue School in college, our very first conversation was about
God.
So I'm like, hey, with this girl, I sit down and we talk about God, and so I say that with sincerity and with even from the
And
first
then
moment.
that's why you had to be a good boy.
Endearing.
He was a good one.
Anoy naman, diba? Seems like it.
Okay, how about you?
I think one of his most endearing qualities is he's always willing to change. And I think, yes, and that's one of the things he committed to me when we got married. Some people give like super long vows.
I really thought he was like a very stubborn man.
This is a good interview, Rose. I should get a copy of this because the truth is coming out. I love this.
So he's not stubborn.
He
Can be.
He can be stubborn, like when he's bargaining and he says 50%.
So can you just share with us that one thing that he changed?
Maybe most recently. I don't know.
Oh, well, one of the things that was an issue for us when we first got married was he was more temperamental than I was. Because he really sets high standards for himself, so he's exacting of the people around him.
Yes.
And I felt like, as a wife, he was exacting. Yeah. So much. And so, we had many conversations about it. But he would tell me, I promised you when I married you that I wouldn't be the perfect man, but that I'd always be willing to change.
Wow.
And by God's grace, really, every year, I would say he's a better version of his original.
Yeah,
Everything.
The guy you married.
Yeah, and I was already in love with the guy I married.
That's a nice tagline for your wedding anniversary. You're no longer the guy.
Yon.
You're much better. It's a good entry. Oh, that's a good entry.
Better version.
Okay, I will credit you.
Next. What's your luho, your luxury?
That I'm trying to stop is shoes.
Shoes. Most expensive shoes.
5 digits. I didn't go 6. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
5 digits? What shoe was that?
I'm not telling you. That's it.
I thought we just said we don't.
That's why I said I'm stopping. Because I said I don't always negotiate, right? I said I
Please
don't.
explain what 5 digits is really expensive.
She just said blanket question, blanket answer. So your turn,
Okay,
baby.
your
It's not-
turn.
I'm
What's your
deflecting. I'm
luho,
deflecting
Joy?
you.
Me, honestly, it's just the groceries. I'm always spending money at the grocery because
Gifts.
I have to feed
That's what you
them.
want.
Oh yeah, I do
She
like
doesn't
buying
put a cap.
gifts
She
for people.
loses her budget when she buys gifts for people.
Can you include me?
Which is a
You're
good
just-
luho, diba?
You're just ruining our entire interview. You just negated everything you said.
No, hey, we're being honest here. Honest.
Well, I do like buying gifts for people. That is true.
The next step
Remember, a
of
luho is not a common thing. It's like a weakness that you
it's a weakness
Okay.
actually.
I'm being honest,
So
but I'm stopping.
the next 4 fast talk would be you would just have to point to each other or
Sure.
at yourself. Okay?
This is fun.
Who's the more magastos?
I think it depends though.
Mabagal, yung hindi fast
Yeah.
pointing. Ano? Okay, faster this time. Who wakes up earlier?
No, I don't work, baby. I leave earlier. Come on. On a
Baka she wakes up earlier and you get up earlier.
Okay.
Okay. Who is the spoiler of the children?
None of us.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh,
Very big
good.
on not spoiling stuff.
And the last one, who snores?
Now I did that.
That we went that fast. I
Just have to push him a little.
Really, she does.
And then he will.
Like, hey, why
You
you
know,
wake
when
me up?
I was a young girl, I heard this remedy for
Oh,
snoring.
do it.
Sampalin ng chinelas.
Aray, saan? Sa mukha? Oo naman. Hindi na matutulog yan.
You just move.
I just imagine you doing that.
You solve the snoring because you don't get to sleep anymore. You're awake. You're tulog. Hindi ka na makatulog.
This is a
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you very
Rose.
much. Thank you very
I was
much.
gonna shake your hand. I'll give you a hug instead.
I hope you guys learned a lot from this lovely, God-centered, and devoted parents. Okay, so Edric and Joy, please join me in wishing our viewers
Cheers to
IFQ. I'll say more.
Yeah.
Hindi, syempre, baka sabihin nyo, hey, what's more than that?
Of course.
Then,
Let's say, well, we don't know what we're doing here.
and then
Kind of
we'll
mess
talk
around with
about
your. This is for your.
the FQ-wentuhan.
Okay. Or this is
This is
your
the-
written articles.
No, it's every week it comes out on Facebook page.
Okay. So it's a video.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
It used to be Facebook, I mean FQ Live, but then sometimes it's now I
Yeah.
So it's a live, so I call it FQ-wentuhan. Diba?
Cool.
So this is what we'll discuss. So you being devoted parents, I'd like you to discuss a little bit about your homeschooling.
Sure.
So syempre proud ka.
Sure. Siyempre. All out plug yan.
Diba?
That's what it's about.
Yeah. Tapos, I know that you always say inside about the savings, but if you can give us an idea how much you actually save by doing schooling,
Okay.
and then I'll ask you about your job money memory.
Okay. So it's a slant on homeschooling.
No,
Sort of.
Well, because you guys, I know you as
Yeah.
homeschoolers,
Yeah.
so that,
Okay.
and then these are my stable questions.
Thank you.
Your childhood money memory and your FQ rate of things.
Sure. Ako madami yan.
And then, at the end, we will be all saying this.
You.
This is
Wow.
Joyce,
Yeah.
and this is personalized.
Ganun.
Oh, cute! Yeah. I just showed you your name.
Thank you.
Oh. There's our
Siyempre.
There it is. Galing ha.
Parang yun naman ang gift kasi.
Galing
And then
ha.
we have a fast talk, which of course I won't show you.
Of course.
Okay? So, from this lovely, God-centered, and devoted parents, Edric and Joy Mendoza. Maraming salamat!
Cheers.
Okay.
Ay! I forgot. Okay, we'll just
Again.
Edit.
okay. So please join me, Edric and Joy, in wishing them.
Thank you.
Parang
May line ka dyan.